Hey, what is up guys, Shapara here, and today I'm bringing you guys my initial thoughts on Pokemon Sun and Moon after beating them. Now, well, after beating Sun anyway. Now, yes, I know it's been 2 days, I have beaten Pokemon Sun and Moon. Yeah, I've essentially just, 22 hours of gameplay. Oh, I don't know what's going on with the audio, but it's acting a bit weird. So that happens when you don't look after chords and the actual 3DS software. Well, yeah. Oh, I think I was just when it was saving. Okay, that's alright then. Yeah, so I've put 22 hours of gameplay over the course of 2 days. That's pretty bad, but I have like gotten no sleep the past 2 days. I had a good sleep tonight. But yeah. Alrighty. Now, I'm just going to put it out there. I personally think that these are the best Pokemon games of all time. Like, no questions asked. These are, by far, the best Pokemon games ever. Now, these are going to be a lot of spoilers in this. I'm not planning to be like, oh yeah, no spoilers, No, there's spoilers in this. Actually, what I'll do, I'll just go to a nice location, so I can just talk. Because I don't want to just kind of just talk a bit in this video. I guess we'll go, where's the starting island? Yeah, here we go. Look at here, alrighty. So I don't wanna, I'm gonna try and make this pretty short, maybe like less than 15 minutes hopefully. I don't want to be any longer, but anyway, essentially with Pokemon Sun and Moon, these games attempt to be different as they change a lot of mechanics. For example, H-Gyms aren't in this game. Instead you have the Pokeride feature like what I'm using. There's no gym badges, instead you have trials you have to go to. But there's still the Pokemon League, there's still the Elite Four. And, you know, it's just a really fresh experience to the game where it's like, it's still the same concept, but it's different enough to make you feel like you're, like, you're just experiencing different things. So it's really, really great in that regard. Like, I can honestly say I haven't had this much fun playing the main story of a Pokemon game since Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Like, I love those games to death, but like my experience compared, well, let's see, pop a Max Repel real quick. Actually, while I'm just floating around, if I can find it anyway. But no, my experience in this game has been so much more like enjoyable compared to any other Pokemon game I played. I might as well just show you guys my team. Can you even see them on the bottom screen? Oh my god, all my Pokemon like fainted apparently. No, you can't. I'll quickly just drag the bottom screen in front here. 2 seconds. So this is my starter Pokemon, Dartrix, which I just named Robin. Not Dartrix, sorry. DCG or whatever, this guy. I've got Linorock, the day form, because this is Pokemon Sun. I've got Alolan for Marowak. This thing, which was, oh my god, Vikavolt took so long to evolve. Golisopod, I reckon this thing looks sick. When I first saw it, it's like, oh my god, I must get this. And then I got, of course, the Dragon type, because, you know, Dragon's OP. Yeah, alright, so that was my team. Yeah, like I said, it had very similar concepts, but different enough where it felt like just a fantastic experience. Like, look, I can't get over here, just switch to my Sharpedo, and he breaks the rocks for me. Just, it's same but different. Like, that's essentially like, alright, you need a Whirlpool, let's say, as a HM to get through there. And, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, this is by far the most fun I've had with, any Pokemon game, like just in general, like the main story. Give me that item there. Like the sound, the music's really nice. The Rotom Dex is a really cool feature. Like, there's nothing you can talk badly about this game. This game is just so good. It's just too good. I think I realized what the problem was with the music. I had the 3DS playing, so if you heard Echo music up until this point, I'm sorry. Now let's talk about the trials in general. I think it's a really good idea. Like, you get your Z Crystal from clearing every trial. There's other ways to get Z Crystals as well. Some people might randomly give them to you. You might find them throughout the Alola region. So it's not like, alright, you have to clear the trials to get, well, obviously you have to clear the trials to progress with the story of the game, but it's not like, alrighty, clear every trial, otherwise you're not doing anything. Otherwise you like, let's just say no, you clear the trials and you get no reward out of it. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. So like, essentially what it used to be is like, alright, you clear a gym battle, you get a gym badge, you get a, I really need to go heal my Pokemon, I just realized. You get, what do you want to call it? You get a TM, you can use a HM out of the area. Now it's like, oh, cool, you got a Z Crystal, and yeah, you just keep on going. And certain trials, you need to get certain Poké Ride, certain areas, people help you out give you Poké Ride. I reckon that's great, the fact that they don't have HMs, because it's literally like the biggest pain in the ass to use HMs, right? Like, because they take up a move slot in your Pokemon and it makes you like have to be forced to have a HM slave. There's no problem with this in Sun and Moon. They just made it more convenient. Now, one thing I will say I was kind of upset about with this game is the customization for the male trainer. I didn't really feel like there was a lot of stuff in there that I would like to use. Like I did find something I did like on my trainer, but at the same time it was like, oh, this is pretty average. Oh, cool, there's a cave here. I didn't realize there was this here. And there's a trainer here too. Yeah, it wasn't like 100% what I wanted it to be. So that's like, whatever, in that regard. Like I said, I haven't done everything in the post-game yet. For example, catching all the Pokemon, etc, etc. Now, speaking of posting, like catching legendary Pokemon, that I reckon how they did the starter Pokemon in this game, how the the legendary Pokemon, sorry. That legendary Pokemon, it's not like, oh cool, you got your Mewtwo, blah blah blah. No, throughout the game, the Cosmog thing, you start off with the game, evolves into its second stage and evolves into its third stage. Like, the legendary Pokemon is an evolution Pokemon. Like, you have to evolve, there's like pre-evolutions of legendary Pokemon, which is like, obviously the pre-evolutions are like garbage compared to like the actual legendary, but like, you know, it's cool that, there's obviously some hidden item there, but whatever. But like, you know, it's cool that it's like, oh, you can evolve your, you don't get, the legendary Pokemon with you the entire game and you just don't know about it until the end, which I thought was pretty cool. What else? The fact that, there was two teams in this game, Team Skull and Team Aether. Last time we had that was probably with Team Aqua and Magma, but the cool thing is that, like, Team Aether is led on to be this really good team, but they're like the ones that are secretly controlling Team Skull for their own needs, blah blah blah. Which I think Team Skull are pretty funny. I like the design of Team Skull. Team Skull is a pretty troll team. Like I wouldn't consider him like threatening. Guzma was pretty tough though. But like the fact that the Aether Foundation was like actually the main villains for this game, that was pretty cool. I can't really argue with that. What's actually... Yeah, we can't... Oops. That's the wrong one. And yeah, Aether Foundation being the actual, like, big boss of the game was different. We don't have that, there's always that good team. That sounds bad. Now, I will admit, though, there were so many nods towards it being that way, which is like, lol. Just like, okay. Like, when you see the Aether Foundation's like president, she's led on to be like a good character with like a dark side when you first interact with them, and it's also the first time you interact with the Ultra Beast, which, look, I haven't really experienced too much with the Ultra Beast yet, but they're kind of weird. It's just essentially Pokemon, but like on steroids, essentially. But yeah, I'm actually up to the... I'm pretty sure the next part in the game, before I can actually catch legendary Pokemon, I need to catch all the Ultra Beasts first. So, yeah, we'll just walk around for now. Well, that's whatever. I'm not too big on the Ultra Beasts, they're okay, but it's different. Again, it's different. Like I said, this game's not perfect, but in my opinion, it's like by far the best Pokemon game. Now, oh, wait, has that been like that the entire video with frame rate? I just looked at my thing. Huh, go figure. Alright, I'm just gonna stand still and talk for the rest of it, because I didn't realize it's been lagging. I'm so sorry, guys, about that. If it's been like that, I might just cut out the audio completely. Video content completely. But yeah, That's so true. I'll have to have a look at that after this. But yeah. The last three things I want to talk about is the game difficulty, Z moves, and the Pokemon League in that order. So the game difficulty, I reckon the game has a nice difficulty curve. I actually felt like this game was somewhat difficult. I actually struggled a lot more in the start of the game just because my Pokemon were like all I wouldn't say underleveled, but it's like I wasn't know what to expect. But as I like got more familiar with like what's coming up, blah blah blah, it got a bit easier. And certain boss fights at the end were actually genuinely hard. Like the final fight against Luzumine was both surprising about how it happened and like genuinely difficult. That was a bit hard, but I still won. The Pokemon League, even though I said I was not going to talk about that last, I reckon the Pokemon League is the best Pokemon League in the game. I wouldn't say like there's no like standout characters, for example, like Lance or something like that, Lance or Steven that are in this. But how the Pokemon League is in this game, so like essentially, the Pokemon League doesn't exist in the game when you first play it. Pokemon League gets made as you like progress through your journey. You don't contribute to helping, but like it gets made as you're like traveling across Alola doing trials and that, as well as finding out about Ultra Beast and stopping Luzumane or whatever. Well, not really stopping her, but more like rescuing her. I think that's more of the thing. But yeah, the Pokemon League. I think the best part about the Pokemon League is that you are actually the champion in this one. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that, like, exactly what I said. You become the first Alolan champion, and when you go to the Elite Four, like, you know how in every game you can battle against the Elite Four again. It's not alrighty. You beat the 4 people and the champion, which I'll save. Well, alrighty, the champion choice. I knew it was one of 3 people, but I battled 2 of the people on the way to the mountain, so I knew who the third one was. Which was Hala. You know, I'm just gonna spoil this. Is a spoiler review. So Hala, which is your rival. Not Hala, so Hyuga, however you say it, Hau, I can't pronounce it. Gladion, which is by far my favorite character in this game. I just love him so much. He's got the coolest Pokemon in Alola, I reckon, type Null and Chevalier, and he just looks badass, just straight up. And then the third person I was thinking about was the Professor, and it was the Professor. Now that was a genuinely difficult champion battle against the Professor. That was pretty cool. But anyway, back to the point where I'm saying you're the actual champion. So technically, that made you the first champion of the Alola region, which is it's cool. It's not usually like you're the first in other games. It's just like, oh, you are now in the Hall of Fame. No, you are the champion of this. When you redo the Elite Four, you don't battle the Professor again. You have other people, some people you haven't even met throughout the story, come and challenge you for your title of champion. For example, Gladion can fight you. It's like as the final thing in the Elite, in the Pokemon League. But he's not the champion. He's challenging you. I reckon that is so good. They have never done that before in Pokemon. Never. And I think that was... When I saw that happen, I was like, what is this? I haven't experienced it in the game, but once I beat the game, I looked at Cerebi to see what it was. And when I saw that, after you've done the Ultra Beast stuff and you can re-challenge the Elite Four, that was a thing, I don't actually understand how happy that made me. The fact that there's over, like... I think it's like 10 plus different trainers you can fight. Old trial captains, random trainers you've never met before. Some random trainers you battled throughout your thing. The Professor again come back even stronger, wanting his title. Well, not wanting his title, but like wanting to like test your strength. That is just such a cool idea to me. That because in every other Pokemon game, it's never been portrayed as that you are the champion of the region. It's been portrayed as, oh, you've entered the Hall of Fame. But, like, the champion is still the champion. You've just got extra rights in the region. No, you are the champion here. People want to battle you. That's just amazing. When that happened, man. That actually was one of the best feelings ever when I saw that in Pokemon. That you legit, when you play the games, you don't play the game and become, like, the Hall of Fame. Go into the Hall of Fame. No, that is generally your character who is the champion. You have people who challenge you for that title. Now, obviously, if you lose, you're not going to get like, oh, no, game over, man, game over. You're no longer the champion. I highly doubt that's going to happen. But what's probably going to happen is that you're going to black out. That's probably straight what's going to happen. And another thing with this too, it adds the ability of like being able to rebattle your rivals fairly easily. Like instead of them, you don't have to go to X location to battle them. No, they come to you. I can rant on about that so much, about how you can rebattle people in the Pokemon League. I think my game, the FPS is like better now. No, it's not. That's pretty weird, lol. That's so annoying. I have to look at that because I do want to do. I do plan on doing Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battles. I don't think I'm going to do any in-game coverage, just because like so many people that are more popular than me already do that already. So there's like no point, lol. It's so weird. I don't understand the FPS stuff. Yeah, but this is more of a podcast kind of thing anyway. So yeah. I don't really know any more to say. Oh yeah, Z moves. Now Z moves, I reckon this is a really cool idea. So essentially, Z moves don't provide a lot, but they provide enough. Like, let's just say now you are battling. No, we're not going to say that you're battling. Let's say now you want to use a Z move. You can only use it once per battle, like Mega Evolution. Every Pokemon can use every kind of Z move as long as they have the same type move for it. So that's really good because in X and Y. Mega Evolution was like exclusive to a certain amount of Pokemon, and only like 2 trainers that you would go in the whole region, the main story would have Mega Evolution, which was the champion and the final boss of Team Flare in X and Y. In Alola, you will randomly find people who have Z moves. I reckon that's great. Like it's one of the gimmicks of the game. Well, not the gimmicks, one of the new features, and like it's actually a part of the game. Like you get Z moves like. You know, you get access to Z moves within like the first few hours of gameplay, whereas in X and Y you have to do it like after 10 to 12 hours of gameplay to get access to, what do you want to call it? Access to Megas, and it's a scaling mechanic as well, the Z move. So depending on what move you use to invoke the Z move depends on the strength, which I think is like really good. It means it's a scaling thing. So like the better the moves your Pokemon get, the stronger the Z move will be. Which not only makes it balanced, but it makes it like fun as well. The Z moves look really cool, and they feel powerful too. And like the thing I felt was really interesting is that Z moves have 100% hit accuracy. They can hit even through moves like Protect, but even when the Pokemon, let's say, uses Protect, it actually reduces the damage of it. So there's like cool interactions with the Z moves that I think is just fantastic. Honestly, like there's not much more I can say. This game. It just has so many good things about it that outweigh like the cons. I reckon this is by far the best Pokemon game ever. There's also a lot of references to previous characters from other games, which I thought was just crazy. Like obviously in the trailer we've got Red and Blue, but there's even more. Some characters you won't expect. Actually, there were 2 characters I didn't expect. One of them being a Battle Frontier brain who works with Luca now, which I'm not going to say. Because I just got up to that now. I'm not going to spoil everything for you guys if you haven't played it yet. And you actually find one of the you find Corylus from the Unova region. You find one of the former Elite Four members of Unova as well, Grimsley. This is like pretty early in the game though, so yeah. The game is also long in length actually. It's probably one of the longest. It took me like since I didn't spend any time post game yet. It took me what you saw there like 20 hours to. Yeah, 22 hours to, not 20, 21 hours to beat the entire game, which is fairly long time for a Pokemon game, considering most average at like 18, 16, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head. So, yeah. Not only that, the game looks beautiful. So, all I can say is that Pokemon Sun and Moon, amazing games. Just straight up. And that's been my honest thoughts of Sun and Moon after I beat the game. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to look into why my capture card is like crap, so I can do some, once I finally get around to EV training Pokemon, I will do some Wi-Fi battles. This is probably not going to be for a few weeks though, mainly because I've got a lot of stuff I need to do in real life, so I can't just play this game flat out like I did these past few days. And yeah, that's generally it. I'll see you all next time. It's True Pyro Shad, signing out. Peace.